And the final thing I would say here is that to also yesterday I talked about the requirement to go and do review, validation of political parties. What for? Look, 9 months to election. In all this while, nobody has done that. So people are now raising rumor that this is aimed at deregistering some opposition parties. Look, INEC has to be careful about the perception of their actions. I talked about the 3 Gs. 1, their mandate, legality. 2, the impact on citizens, the burden they create for parties and citizens. And thirdly, perception of what they do. How can you go at this time when there's so much rumor, some of them credible, that the ruling party is trying to muzzle the opposition? Right. When there's allegation that you are a stooge of ruling party, and you're not telling parties you want to validate you want to assess again whether you have your NIN number, whether your leaders are Nigerians, whether they have the local government state of origin, and so after the exercise, somebody will create a report and say maybe party X, their leadership failed this category, therefore they are deregistered. The observatory wants to say that INEC should know that it bears responsibility for the life and death of this democracy. And so far, in 2023, INEC failed woefully. If not that Nigerians were peace-loving, and maybe the outcome pleased some sections of Nigeria, the conduct of last election was enough to create crisis in this country. 2037 will be much more difficult for us. We are facing terrorism. We're almost overrun by bandits and terrorists. We have insurgents among us trying to destabilize us. Why should we allow politics to further destabilize the country? Why should ill-thought-out plans by INEC further erode confidence in the electoral process? Abuja School's position is clear that the 3 fundamental things you must do is first, increase public trust in the electoral system. 2, focus on the things that matter for accuracy of votes and results. Leave out all this other grand idea about logistics. Just zero in, make sure that on January when they vote for the president, and maybe in February or March when they vote for the governors, that votes, results declared inspire confidence in the people. Leave out these frivolities and focus on the main thing. Our job as a school is to 1, think, report, think, research, think, analyze, report, advocate. We've done a bit. That's why also media. Every day you guys are reporting about one thing or the other, pointing out what's not working, what is working, telling government that this is a problem here. If some people are going to attack Nigeria and you have information that some banditry activity, you will report it. Is that not correct? But whether the police goes ahead to go and stop that crisis or they allow it to it's not, you've done a bit. Unfortunately, our politics, and that's a good question because we've seen that many of the things we have been saying, they're not listening. And that's why today this country is verging towards collapse. Anybody who understands state failure and state building knows that every indicator points to a massive, what we call wicked crisis that is difficult to solve. If you look at the territorial integrity, look at how terrorists are, even if they're not defeating us, at least they are suffocating us. The Nigerian military, with all their heroism, have been struggling. Look at the level of killing. Look at what's going on. The president, I think today, should be somewhere in Jos. Is that not correct? Mm-hmm. We are citizens, we are butchered. Look at the other indicators around insecurity. You barely can travel. Today, when I go to airport and see struggling Nigerians paying 90,000, 100,000 to fly, struggling people, 100,000 to fly plane, and their salaries are maybe, if they are minimum wage, and 70,000. Some are actually not in the official 70,000 minimum wage. They're earning less than 30, 40, 50. Is that not correct? And they're flying. Why are they flying? They're flying because they can't reach road. When I was a student at Harvard, I traveled by road to New York. In fact, before anybody flies, you go by night bus. You go by night bus. And 5, 6 hours in the morning, you're fresh in New York. People don't even fly. Forget to talk about people don't fly regularly interstate in the US. Because why do you have to? And it's cheap. It's not like too expensive. $200, okay? Maybe $150 so to get some deal. But they prefer to enter 20,000 naira, $20 Chinese bus from Boston to New York, and you're fresh. Because you know there's no banditry. Nobody's going to kidnap you. Me, at my level, even at my own level, the number of times I fly Sometimes I'll go by road. From here to Enugu should be less than 4 or 5 hours if the roads are good. Is that not correct? Why should you go by air? If you leave now, before, there's some part of Europe, some of you now, America, to go to buy grocery, you can take 2 hours by road. Is that not correct? To go to a shop. So the indicators of failure is huge. And the point is that the reason why Abuja School is a democracy in Nigeria is not about who wins. That's a mistake. The process is more important than the outcome. If you have a free and fair election, it does 3 things. 1, it creates a stabilizing effect. People know that, well, this person won, and they allow you 4 years, okay? They can hate you, they can criticize you, they can do anything, but they will say, that man won. Then they will have confidence that they can defeat you. Is that not correct? So they don't go and organize coup. Look, everything we're talking today, let's not forget that a few months ago, we were told that some people organized coup in Nigeria. Is that not correct? They are in some kind of detention. So if there could be coup today, what makes you think there will be no coup if things go bad? Yeah. That coup is, we didn't know when Guinea was having coup, nobody knew that Burkina Faso would get their own. We didn't know that Mali will have their own. Nigeria will have their own. We even see efforts being made in Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire. Is that not correct? So the danger of this stonewalling, of deaf and dumb leadership that we have in this country, our prayer is let it not hit us. Because when the chicken comes to roost, it's not the wicked people only that get. Again, many countries have disappeared from earth in the history of, at least modern history. Failed countries. Look at Somalia, where they are now. Look at Sudan, what's going on there. So why do you think we are better than them? So the reason why we are shouting is that we want Nigeria to cross 2027 in a credible form, where no matter who wins, some people will be rejoicing, some people will be in their room saying, where do we get it wrong? But the streets will be free, and all of us will be going free, moving around. So, yes, politicians are desperate. They don't care about outcomes. They win by all means. Win and later go to court. The language is, logic is win by all means, then later go to court. But what we're saying is, the thing to lose is far more than election. If 2027, if INEC misdirects 2027, what we'll lose is not just an election. We might lose the country. So Abuja School's job is to be honest, forthright, courageous, and bring ideas and evidence to support our ideas. Their job as media is to amplify our message. We hope that the duty of those in power is to listen and do the right thing. The Abuja School never challenges INEC's power to update, keep, maintain voter register. It's their power, gathered especially by law. So they can collaborate with the Identity Management Office. They can collaborate with even the National Security Advisor's Office. They can work with the central bank, work with all data collection centers across the country, the NBS, and internally. So if your name is not there, then you can go and challenge it, you get a point, and provide evidence to show that your name ought to be. So that's what we call case-by-case adjudication. So if INEC publish the preliminary voters list and my name is missing, I can now say, INEC, I'm a registered voter. I registered on social media, see my card. Why do you take me off? They say, oh, we thought this Sam Amadi is from Namibia. It's not you. I said, please put me back. So INEC has the power. What we are saying is that INEC does not have the power, and it's not administratively beneficial to ask citizens to go out and, so you are putting the burden on us. We are now to establish that we are voters. It's INEC who should say, I'm not a voter. Then onus is on me to say, I'm a voter. So INEC can look at the data and say, oh, the app circles their name. Maybe there are 3 Sam Amadi, Samuel Ifa Ichukwu Amadi, with the same name, and maybe something that looks like the same biometric, whatever it is. So I can raise a query about whether I'm a qualified voter. So you're right, they can work with institutions to generate internal process for cleaning, updating the voter register. For example, death. People have died. We know that we don't keep good records. Some families may not go and take death certificate, and therefore, or even if they take some local governments may not have updating. They just issue the thing to you. The death certificate are lying. They are not organized into a digitalized data bank where people can see through. INEC has the right to say, okay, protocol. We're going to ask all existing death certificate centers to give us the data, sweep it in, and collect it. And they see that social persons who's still here with this date of birth, with this name, has died. They don't put the person's name. Because that dead person will not come and tell them he's dead. And maybe the family don't care. Or they see George Bush, F. Bush, with the face of Bush. They clean it up. So that's the difference. They have the right to collaborate with institutions and find how to make our register more probative, accurate. But they have no powers, in my view, in our view of the Abuja school, to mandate that everybody should come out. If you don't come out, you lose the right to vote. That's the point.